Buying or selling a home requires specialists from multiple related fields. Hear everything you need to know direct from the source as the Real Estate Roundtable presents Ask the Expert.
And joining us today is Steve Green from Breathe Easy Eco Solutions. Steve, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit about your company and how it got started?
About 15 years ago in British Columbia, we were cleaning grow-ops, and we found a completely eco-friendly product that actually stopped mold dead in its tracks. So we successfully grew that into a mold treatment business and moved to Winnipeg in 2009. At that point, we started focusing almost specifically on residential homes, doing asbestos duct cleaning and air testing.
Okay, Steve, you and I have talked in the past, and you've told me about this product that you've developed, but what makes it so special? What makes it different from the other products available?
Well, Bo, a lot of the products that are available off the shelf are not 100% effective killing mold. The products that are very effective in killing mold are quite often dangerous to your health. Our product is mixed for each job, and it kills 100% of the mold all of the time. It's completely eco-friendly. It's made with nothing but food-grade materials. We have had many, many instances where following our treatment, we've had third parties come in to do the testing, and they have found no measurable fungus following our treatment in an area that was completely contaminated with mold. Our product doesn't harm pets or plants, and it doesn't damage furniture or electronics in any way.
Now, Steve, I bet you some of our listeners are wondering this right now. What does it smell like?
Well, we get a large variety of answers on that, but for the most part, I think it smells like tea tree oil, which is one of the key ingredients and a very effective mold killer. It has a very pleasant odor which dissipates in about 2 days.
Now, it'll kill on contact, but you also get a way to distribute it through the house in the air as well.
Yes, we do both. The treatment that we provide, it is sprayed directly on the moldy area, and then it's also diffused into the air, which kills any spores that may have been released.
Now, when people are looking for a company to look after an air quality issue for them, what are some of the things that they should be looking for in that company?
You're going to want to look to see that the company has been in business for more than a couple of years, because every year we see companies come and we see companies go. You want to make sure that they have a physical address. Avoid post office boxes, apartments, or virtual offices downtown that make the company look really good, but you want to find out whether or not they have a physical location that you can go to actually talk to someone there if you need to. You want to make sure that they've got a good and responsible web page. Ideally, they provide links to places like Health Canada's website or American EPA, someplace that you're going to get reliable information on the types of contaminants you're worried about.
It sounds like your industry has its share of truck and ladder guys. What are the dangers of hiring these kinds of operations?
They oftentimes reduce their prices because they're not insured. They should have a minimum of $2 million liability insurance. And if they look nervous when you ask to see that, then you should ask for the documentation. They should be registered with workers' compensation. You can go online to the workers' compensation site and find out if that company is registered. If one of their workers has an accident on your site and they're not registered, you could be held responsible and your insurance company may not pay for it.
Wow.
That's an unusual circumstance, but it certainly has happened in the past. You should make sure that they do continuous training of their workers and their staff, because they have to have a commitment to ongoing changes in regulations. And you need to make very, very sure that they are completely dedicated to the safety of not just their workers and company assets, but also to you as a customer.
I find a lot of Winnipeggers, they like to get bargains, and they go on Kijiji and they find the guy that, like Ryan says, the truck and ladder guys. But we're talking here about mold and asbestos and people's health. So I would certainly strongly suggest that people give you a call.
Mold has almost immediate effects on a person's health, especially if you have an underdeveloped immune system, such as children or the elderly or people who are perhaps having their immune system compromised through surgery or a disease of some kind. You definitely want to ensure that every mold problem that you've got is dealt with very, very quickly. Asbestos, on the other hand, the effects are not felt for more than 20 years. May not affect an old guy like you and me, Bo, but it certainly does affect children who may be living in the house.
Give me an example of what are some of the household products that might contain asbestos? What are some examples?
Up until 1980, asbestos was used widely in almost all building materials. So if you go into a house that was built before 1980, you can find asbestos in the flooring, those 9x9 floor tiles, or the linoleum, or the walls themselves, and the drywall, the filler that they use between the sheets of drywall, or up on the ceiling. If you're looking up and you see stippled ceiling up there, that could contain asbestos, or even higher up in your attic, vermiculite. That could contain asbestos as well. So prior to doing any sort of renovation or cutting holes in the wall for any good reason, or even going into your attic to add extra insulation, all that material should be tested to make sure.
Now, asbestos is basically, it's safe so long as it's not introduced into the air as an air particulate.
That's correct. And there's no reason to be afraid of it just because it's in your attic. We get customers who phone up lots of times who are in quite a panic about that. We tell them that every reputable website, including Health Canada, says if you're not disturbing it, it's quite safe.
Okay. One of my favorite ones is when I walk into a house built in the 1920s and they have the old boiler in the basement and it's covered in kind of a concrete mixture and that's kind of an insulation. Does that contain asbestos?
Almost all the time. Yes, it does. And you'll find oftentimes the pipes that lead to it are wrapped in a pipe wrap that contains asbestos as well. That needs to be removed by a professional.
So not the truck and ladder guy that come and cut everything apart in your house and haul it out?
No, they will contaminate your house if they don't set up proper containment and do the necessary safety precautions to make sure that you're not living in an asbestos-filled indoor air environment.
We'll be right back with more information about mold and asbestos right after this message.
Are you looking to buy a house or a condo in Winnipeg? Work with the agent who takes the time to explain the process to you, guiding you through every step. For service beyond the sale, book your home buying consultation with Bo Kaufman of RE/MAX Performance today. Bo knows real estate.
What are some of the warning signs that I should keep a look for in my house that I have a growing mold problem?
Look in the areas that are primarily high humidity areas, such as your bathroom or your laundry room. Those are areas that are key places where you could find under the kitchen sink or the bathroom sink where there could be a leak of some sort. You can invest in one of those cheap humidity meters that are $15 or thereabouts and check to see your humidity should never be more than 60%. And if it is, then you can remedy that by buying yourself a dehumidifier.
Now, most homeowners prioritize their projects based on how much they cost. How can people find out more information about a ballpark figure of what this would cost?
And we get that question a lot on the phone, and that's why we offer free inspections. It is very difficult for somebody to say, I have mold in my bathroom, how much will you charge to remove it? Because if that mold has structurally damaged the drywall in the bathroom, or there's other problems that may have resulted because the mold has been there, then what we probably need to do is we need to come in, take a look at it. Our certified inspectors will look over the situation. They'll discuss it with you. They will give you a proper report on what needs to be done to resolve the problem and how you can keep the problem away after it is resolved. And then once that's all done, if there is work to be done, we'll provide you with a free, no obligation quote.
Steve Green is from Breathe Easy Eco Solutions. Steve, before you go, how can people get a hold of you?
They can reach us online at www.breatheasywinnipeg.ca, or they can call our number 204-416-6500.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Steve, for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Ask the Expert is a monthly feature on the Real Estate Roundtable. To hear the latest full episodes of the show, go to iTunes or Stitcher.com and search for Winnipeg's Real Estate Podcast.